Good morning, Aditya. Good morning, Aryan. Good morning, Chandrasekhar. Good morning, Vedant. Good morning, Raunak. Good morning, Rahul. Good morning, Prateek. Good morning, Harshad. Good morning, Vaibhav. Good morning, Vedant. Good morning, Akshay. Good morning, Elroy. Good morning, Aditya. Good morning, Prateek. Good morning, Om Prakash. Good morning, Kunal. Let's recap what we have considered in previous session. And that was nothing but the expansion of Britishers in two other provinces called Mysore and Punjab. So as far as the expansion of Britishers in Mysore is concerned, so very first you come across Hyder Ali, who was soldier in Mysore state. He later on became Fauzdar of a place called Dunjil. In 1761, he had overthrown the Nanja Raja, right, who was a very powerful prime minister of Odia king. And then there had been first Anglo-Mysore war, right, in between Britishers and Hyder Ali. So Hyder Ali defeated British in the first Anglo-Mysore war that had been taken place in 1766 to 69. Then the first Anglo-Mysore war was ended by signing a treaty, and the name of that treaty is called Treaty of Madras. Right, so factual question, you can always consider this point. Right. Then the second Anglo-Mysore war in 1780 to 84. So this time Warren Hastings from Britishers attacked French port called Mahe. So that Mahe port was in the territory of Hyder Ali, and therefore Hyder Ali, with joint front of Marathas and Nizam, attacked back on Britishers. And then later on, in 1781, Hyder Ali got defeated by Britishers in the second Anglo-Mysore war. So Hyder Ali's son, Tipu Sultan, right, succeeded Hyder Ali. Again, a Treaty of Mangalore signed, which ended Second War, particularly Second Anglo-Mysore War. And then Third Anglo-Mysore War was there from 1790 to 92. So this time Cornwallis captured Bangalore by aid of Nizam and Marathas. So in Second Mysore War, Anglo-Mysore War, Marathas and Nizam were aided by Tipu Sultan or Hyder Ali. But during Third Anglo-Mysore War, Marathas and Nizams were at the side of British. Right. Treaty, which is named as Treaty of Seringpattanam. So Seringpattanam was the capital of Empire. Right. It was carried out in 1792, and according to this treaty, Tipu Sultan ceded his half of territory. And Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, 1799. So this time, Lord Wellesley attacked. Good morning, Said. Tipu Sultan, and in this war, Tipu Sultan died. So as far as career of Tipu Sultan is concerned, you will always come across his understanding, right? Overall, right? So other than one of the greatest rulers in the world, you can consider by understanding the importance of economic strength to strengthen the military actions, or to take the foundation of military strength would be the strongest economic strength, right? So he had identified it. Further, he had established embassies at different countries, particularly France, Turkey, Iran, and Peru, in order to develop foreign trade so that he can earn more money from it. He had planted a tree of liberty, right, at his capital, Seringpattanam, and became a member of Jacobean Club, right? So one of the prestigious memberships, right, as far as the empire is concerned. Fine. And then in this way, Britishers have expanded in the Mysore state or province. And now you can consider the last one, that is Punjab. So where Guru Gobind Singh, who was the last and 10th gurus of Sikhs, who transformed religious sect into a military brotherhood. So followed by invasion of Nadir Shah and Ahmad Abdali, right? Sikhs have increased their military strength and became a strong power in the Punjab. But the Sikh rule was founded by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who was the greatest Indian ruler, right, and founder of Sikh rule. So he occupied Lahore in 1799 and made it as capital, right, of his province. He conquered Amritsar, occupied Ludhiana, and as well as other places, Attock, Multan, Kashmir, Hazra, Banu, Derazet, and Peshawar. So Sikh power broken by British after death of Ranjit Singh, right? And there had been the first Anglo-Sikh war, right? So in which Sikhs were defeated in all the four places: Matki, Firoz Shah, Aliwal, and Sobrai. And there had been a Treaty of Lahore, which ended the war, right? And then Sir Henry Lawrence became the first resident of Punjab. Later on, there had been Second Anglo-Sikh War in 1848-49. So this time Dalhousie annexed Punjab. Sir John Lawrence became now the first Chief Commissioner of Punjab, right? So this is what we have considered as far as the expansion of Britishers is concerned. Right. Now we will consider their impact. So now see, in this case, once they get expanded or all the different territories, then they have started affecting the growth, okay, particularly the economic growth you can consider. Now, in this there have been three different stages of British colonialism, right? So very first phase, mercantile phase, right? Vyapar Udesh, only doing trading, right? But during that particular period, also they have a kind of political gains, right? So East India Company had used its political power. So I can write here. Right. So stages of three stages of British colonialism. Right. So very first stage I can title as the mercantile phase. Mercantile phase. Right. So that is 1757 to 1813. So during this, you can consider. So the East India Company used its political power to monopolize trade and dictate the terms of traders of Bengal. They will decide by which rule or by which law the trading will be done, right? Or trading will be carried out at the Bengal. Right. So what happened because of their rules? They have imposed, right? So imposition of inflated prices, right? So prices were inflated of various goods, right? And that had led to the buccaneering of capitalism, right? Whereby wealth flowed out of barrel of the British traders, right? So, and therefore, another point, right, they have done in this in this phase, that is revenues of Bengal were used to finance exports to the England, right? So whatever may be the goods they will buy here, right, very first thing they will be buying it as they want, so prices will be decreased, right? That is called the imposition of inflated prices of the goods. And obviously because of that, here the capitalism in the Bengal started weakening, right? And because of that, uh, you can consider wealth was flowed out. Second thing was the whatever maybe revenue was being collected, right, that was uh, being used for instead of using it for the welfare of the people of Bengal, it was being used for export to the England, right? So whatever maybe the goods, right, or the products were being exported to England, right? So that was carried out through the money or the collection collection collected through the revenue, right? So this is very first phase you can consider, right? So in the first phase, I will write EIC. Okay, first time I will write East India Company. Later on, I will be always using EIC, East India Company, used its political power. Use its political power. Right. For what purpose? To monopolize trade, right? And one more thing they have simultaneously done, and dictate terms of traders of Bengal, right? And therefore, as a result of this, what had happened? Therefore, it has imposed, right? So there had been imposition of inflated prices of goods, right? Of goods, right? If anybody wants, okay, you must have taken its screenshot. Let's go to the second phase. Sorry, second point of the first phase. Right. So whatever may be the revenue collected see what I should do. Shall I go back? Revenue collected used. Okay. Let me know once you finish. Okay, thank you. So whatever the revenue was being collected, that was used to finance export to England. Right. Finance exports to England. Now see how our wealth had nowadays you can consider so many things are coming from China, right? So whatever may be the things you can get, right, in a very cheaper rate, right? So most of them are belonging to China. So likewise, the goods, right, particularly called the British goods, are being sent to the Indian market, and through that, Indian market was also being exploited. There had been Act of 1813. So according to Act of 1813, right, or this act has allowed one-way trade for the British, right? So as a result of that, Indian market was flooded with cheap and machine-made imports. And because of that, what had happened? The Indian traders lost foreign as well as home market, right? Because again, it was dictated that the prices of these goods are dictated, right, by the Britishers, and the Indian traders have to take only that things, right? And that is what you can consider one-way trade. So Indians were forced to export raw material to the England or to Britishers and import the finished goods, as I said, right? So because of heavy import duty on Indian products, right? Heavy import duty on the Indian products to England, right? So they discouraged the Indian traders in the market, right? So by imposing or by putting heavy duty on import, right, on the products to the England. So again, whatever the raw material is being sent, right? So what we can consider importing, right? So heavy duty was there, and therefore their prices were hiked, right? So this is the second phase you can consider, right? So Indians forced to export raw materials to England and import finished goods. And import finished goods, right? So, and therefore exploited Indian market, right? Exploited Indian market. Now, in this case, there have been heavy duty, heavy import duty, right, on Indian products, right? So on the products was there, right? So that is to discourage. What is the purpose of this? So discourage the Indian traders, Indian traders, right? So Indian traders have lost foreign as well as home market, right? So this is the case you can consider. And the last phase, that is called financial phase. Financial phase. So which was from 1860 onwards. 1860 onwards. Fine. Now, see, now Britishers have consolidated their position in India, right? And they made India uh, as a market for manufacturers and a supplier of the foodstuffs as well as the raw materials, right? So, in continuation with this point, right? So, by considering or by consolidating their position in India, they have made now the Indian market as market for manufacturers and a supplier of raw materials or foodstuffs, right? They have introduced some good thing as well. That is the introduction of railways in 1853, introduction of post and telegram in 1853, introduction of banking system, right?
Wait a minute, dear participant.